The massive alien vessel drifted silently through the void, its once bright hull now scarred and broken. Captain Rex stood at the bridge of the human salvage ship Dawnbreaker, watching the enormous craft through the viewport. His crew had been tracking this ghost ship for 3 days. "It's huge," whispered Tom, the ship's engineer. "Never seen anything like it." The alien ship was at least 5 times the size of their salvage vessel. Strange symbols covered its dark metal surface, and several sections showed blast damage from some long-ago battle. But what caught Rex's attention were the faint energy readings their sensors picked up. "There's still power in that thing," Rex said, "after all these years floating out here." The crew had found the ship in a remote system, far from any trade, routes, or colonies. According to their computers, no human or known alien race had ever been to this sector. Yet here was this massive vessel, clearly built by an advanced civilization. Lisa, their communications officer, ran another scan. "I'm picking up artificial gravity inside. Some sections still have atmosphere too." Rex made his decision. "We're going aboard. Tom, grab the cutting tools. Lisa, monitor our comms. If something goes wrong, get us out of here." The docking procedure took 2 hours. The alien ship's airlocks were different from human designs, but Tom managed to create a seal. When they stepped inside, emergency lighting flickered on, as if the ship recognized their presence. The interior was vast. Corridors stretched in all directions, their walls covered with the same strange symbols they had seen outside. The gravity felt normal, and the air was breathable, though it carried a metallic taste. "This place is like a maze," Tom said, checking his scanner. "The ship's layout doesn't make sense. There are chambers that seem bigger inside than outside." They found the first bodies in what looked like a control room. The aliens were tall and thin, with pale blue skin and large eyes that had gone dark. They wore fitted suits that looked more like armor than clothing. Whatever had killed them had happened quickly. Some were still at their stations. "Look at this," Lisa called from across the room. She stood before a massive wall display showing star charts. "These maps ... they cover thousands of systems. This ship has been everywhere." Rex studied the dead aliens. They were explorers, or maybe conquerors. Hard to tell. As they moved deeper into the ship, they found more bodies. Hundreds of them, all dead for what looked like decades, maybe longer. But the ship's systems still functioned. Life support, artificial gravity. Even some of the computers were active. In the ship's central chamber, they made their most important discovery. A massive crystalline structure pulsed with soft blue light. It was connected to every system in the ship through thick cables that looked almost organic. "It's some kind of central computer," Tom said, running his scanner over the crystal. "But it's not just a machine. The readings are strange, like it's alive." Rex approached the crystal carefully. As he got closer, the light grew brighter. Then, without warning, images flashed through his mind. He saw the ship in its glory days, traveling between stars. He saw the aliens who built it, proud and powerful. And he saw their end, a plague that swept through their civilization, killing them faster than they could find a cure. The ship had been their last hope. They had put their most advanced technology into it, including an artificial mind that could learn and grow. But they died before they could complete their mission. The ship had been wandering space ever since, waiting for someone to wake it. When the vision stopped, Rex found himself on his knees. Tom and Lisa were beside him, helping him up. "Captain, are you okay?" Lisa asked. Rex looked at the crystal with new understanding. "This ship, it's not just a machine. It has a mind. And it's been alone out here for so long." The crystal pulsed, brighter, and throughout the ship, systems that had been dormant for decades began to activate. Lights came on in sections that had been dark. The hum of machinery filled the air. "What did you do?" Tom asked, backing away from the crystal. "I think I woke it up," Rex said. He could feel something in his mind now, a presence that wasn't his own. The ship was trying to communicate with him. As they watched, symbols appeared on the wall displays. Not the alien writing they had seen before, but human letters and numbers. The ship was learning their language. Adapting to them, Rex realized they had found something incredible. This wasn't just an abandoned alien vessel. It was a sleeping giant, and it had been waiting for the right person to bring it back to life. The next few hours changed everything. Rex remained connected to the ship's central mind, while Tom and Lisa explored the awakening vessel. Systems that had been dead for decades hummed back to life. The ship was healing itself, repairing damage that had accumulated over years of drifting. Through space. "Captain, you need to see this." Tom's voice crackled through the com. He was 3 levels down in what appeared to be the ship's manufacturing bay. "The ship is building something." Rex made his way through corridors that now blazed with light. The ship's mind guided him, showing him the quickest routes through passages that had seemed like a maze before. When he reached Tom, he found the engineer staring at a massive assembly line that was constructing small devices. "What are they?" Rex asked. Tom picked up one of the completed devices. It looked like a cross between a tablet and a piece of jewelry. "I think they're translators. The ship is making them for us." As if responding to their conversation, the ship's voice filled the chamber. It spoke in perfect English, though with a strange musical quality that hinted at its alien origins. "I am called Wanderer by those who built me," the voice said. "I have been alone for 847 of your years. I had given up hope of finding new companions." Rex felt a wave of emotion that wasn't his own. Decades of loneliness and despair, followed by sudden joy at finding other intelligent beings. "How many of your people survived?" "None," Wanderer replied simply. "The plague took them all. I carry their memories, their knowledge, their dreams. But I am the last of my kind." Lisa joined them, carrying an armload of the translator devices. "These things are incredible. They don't just translate language. They help you understand concepts and cultural meanings." Wanderer had been designed as more than just a starship. The aliens had built it to be a mobile civilization, capable of supporting thousands of inhabitants while exploring the galaxy. Its manufacturing systems could build almost anything. Its computer mind could learn and adapt to new situations. It was meant to be humanity's perfect partner in exploring the universe. "But there is a problem," Wanderer said. "My creators built safeguards into my systems. I cannot use my full capabilities unless I have a crew of at least 50 beings. And even then, many of my weapons and defensive systems require authorization from a recognized command structure." Rex understood. The aliens had been careful not to create a ship that could become a threat to other civilizations. Wanderer was powerful, but it needed people to guide it. "What kind of weapons are we talking about?" Tom asked. The ship's response came as images directly into their minds through the translator devices. They saw energy cannons that could crack planets, shields that could deflect starfire, and manufacturing systems that could build entire fleets of smaller vessels. "My creators called me a world ship," Wanderer explained. "I was meant to carry our civilization to the stars and establish new colonies. But I can also defend those colonies if necessary." Rex felt a chill. This ship could reshape the balance of power in human space. In the wrong hands, it could conquer entire systems. But he also sensed Wanderer's loneliness and desire for companionship. "Why are you telling us this?" Rex asked. "You could have hidden your capabilities." "Because I choose to trust you," Wanderer replied. "In the short time we have been connected, I have learned much about your species. You have the same curiosity that drove my creators, the same desire to explore and discover. But you also have something they lost, the ability to work together despite your differences. Lisa was studying the ship's star charts. These maps show systems beyond anything we've explored. There are civilizations out there we've never encountered. Some friendly, Wanderer confirmed, others less so. The galaxy is a dangerous place for young species like yours. You will need protection as you grow and explore. Rex realized the opportunity they had been given. This ship could change humanity's future, but it would also make them a target for every hostile force in the galaxy. What do you want from us? Rex asked. Companionship, Wanderer said simply. Purpose. For centuries, I have drifted without direction. You could give me a reason to use my capabilities again. Together, we could explore wonders beyond imagination. The ship's manufacturing systems completed another batch of devices. This time, communicators that would let them stay in contact across vast distances. Wanderer was already thinking ahead, planning for a crew that would spread across its enormous interior. Rex looked at his small salvage crew and realized their quiet lives were about to end. They had found something that would change not just their future, but the future of all humanity. Asterisk word traveled fast in the salvage community. Within 2 weeks, Rex's discovery had attracted attention from across human space. Scientists, engineers, military officers, and fortune hunters all wanted a piece of the alien ship. But Wanderer had made its choice clear. It would only work with people Rex approved. The first to arrive was Dr. Maya Okafor, a xenobiologist from Mars University. She came alone in a small research vessel, carrying nothing but scientific equipment and a burning curiosity about alien technology. This is impossible, she said, walking through Wanderer's biolabs. The ship had awakened these facilities just for her, creating research spaces that surpassed anything in human science. These genetic scanners can analyze life forms I can't even imagine. Wanderer had been watching humanity through their communications networks, learning about their society and technology. It found humans fascinating, a young species with incredible potential, but also dangerous flaws. Your people fear what they do not understand, Wanderer observed during one of their daily conversations. But they also have a remarkable ability to adapt and grow. The second recruit was Captain Jake Morrison, a former military pilot whose career had ended when he refused to fire on civilian ships during a border conflict. He arrived with 3 other veterans who had served under him. We're not looking for glory, Jake told Rex. We want to do something meaningful. This ship, it could help humanity reach the stars safely. Wanderer tested each potential crew member carefully. Not just their skills, but their motivations and character. The ship had learned from its creators. Mistakes. They had been too trusting, too willing to believe that advanced technology would solve all problems. The growing crew established routines aboard the massive vessel. Tom worked with Wanderer's engineering systems, learning to repair and modify technology far beyond human understanding. Lisa managed communications, coordinating with the growing number of people who wanted to join them. Dr. Okafor studied the ship's vast databases of alien biology and technology, but their peaceful exploration ended when Admiral Chun arrived with a fleet of military ships. This vessel is too dangerous to remain in private hands, Chun announced over the communication channel. By authority of Earth Central Command, I'm ordering you to surrender the alien ship for proper study and security. Rex felt Wanderer's reaction, not fear, but sadness. The ship had hoped humans would be different from the species that had tried to claim it before. There have been others, Wanderer told Rex privately, species that found me over the centuries. Most wanted to use my weapons for conquest. The few that didn't They were destroyed by those who did. The standoff lasted 3 days. Admiral Chun's fleet surrounded Wanderer, but they couldn't board without the ship's cooperation. And Wanderer made it clear that any hostile action would result in the immediate shutdown of all its systems. The solution came from an unexpected source. Captain Morrison used his military contacts to spread word of the situation throughout the Chun'Tooth human fleet. Many officers had served with him and trusted his judgment. When they learned about Wanderer's peaceful intentions and incredible potential for exploration, they began to question their orders. This ship could change everything, Morrison broadcast to the fleet. Not through conquest, but through knowledge. We could explore parts of the galaxy we've never dreamed of reaching. The mutiny was quiet, but effective. One by one, ship commanders in Chun's fleet declared they would not participate in seizing Wanderer. Some even offered to join Rex's crew. Admiral Chun found himself commanding a fleet that refused to follow orders. Rather than face a court-martial, he agreed to negotiate that the compromise satisfied everyone. Wanderer would remain independent, but it would share its non-military technology with human scientists. The ship would also serve as humanity's first deep space exploration vessel, mapping unknown regions and making contact with alien civilizations. In exchange, Earth would provide Wanderer with crew members and supplies for its missions. The ship would become humanity's ambassador to the galaxy, protected by its advanced technology, but guided by human wisdom and curiosity. Dr. Okafor was the first to volunteer for permanent assignment. "I can't imagine doing research anywhere else," she said. "This ship has technology that could revolutionize our understanding of life itself." Captain Morrison and his team became Wanderer's military advisors, helping the ship understand human tactical thinking while learning alien combat techniques. As the fleet departed, Wanderer began planning its first official mission. The ship's databases contained records of a distant civilization that had been peaceful neighbors to its creators. If they still existed, they might welcome contact with humanity. Rex stood on the bridge, watching the stars. In just a few weeks, his life had changed completely. He was no longer a simple salvage captain, but the leader of humanity's most important exploration mission. Wanderer seemed to sense his thoughts. "Are you ready for this responsibility?" The ship asked. Rex smiled. "No one ever is. But that's what makes it an adventure." Wanderer's first jump through hyperspace was unlike anything the human crew had experienced. Unlike human ships that traveled through folded space-time, Wanderer seemed to step outside reality itself, moving through dimensions that human science couldn't even detect. "Jump complete," the ship announced. "We have arrived at the Kepler 442 system." Through the viewports, the crew saw something magnificent. 3 inhabited worlds orbited a stable yellow star, their surfaces glowing with the lights of advanced civilization. But something was wrong. The space around the planets was filled with debris, the remains of thousands of ships. "I'm detecting massive energy signatures," Lisa reported from her sensor station. "There's a battle happening in orbit around the second planet." Wanderer's advanced sensors revealed the situation quickly. The peaceful people the ship remembered, a species called the Alvari, were under attack by a race of conquerors known as the Devourers. The battle had been going on for months, and the Alvari were losing. "The Devourers consume entire civilizations," Wanderer explained, its voice heavy with old memories. "They appeared in my creator's time as well. We thought we had driven them back to the galactic rim." Captain Morrison studied the tactical display. The Devourers had superior numbers, but their ships were crude compared to Wanderer's technology. "We could help turn the tide of this battle." Rex felt torn. They had come as explorers and ambassadors, not warriors, but watching an entire civilization face extinction was impossible to ignore. Dr. Okafor had been analyzing the Devourer ships. Their technology is based on consumption, she reported. They literally eat other ships to grow stronger. That's why their vessels look so patchwork. They're made from the remains of their victims. Wanderer made the decision for them. I cannot watch another species die as mine did, but I will not act without your consent. You are my crew now. The debate was brief. Everyone agreed they couldn't simply watch genocide happen. But they also couldn't reveal Wanderer's full capabilities to a galaxy that wasn't ready for such power. The ship's solution was elegant. Instead of using its massive weapons, Wanderer deployed a swarm of small fighter craft that looked like advanced human technology. The ship could manufacture these vessels faster than the RC. Devourers could destroy them. Captain Morrison led the first squadron into battle. The fighters were incredibly maneuverable, powered by technology centuries ahead of anything else in the AI system. They struck like ghosts, appearing from nowhere to destroy Devourer ships before vanishing again. The Aldery fleet, on the verge of defeat, suddenly found themselves with mysterious allies. Their communications officer, a being named Speaker of Wines, managed to establish contact with Wanderer. Unknown vessels, identify yourselves. Came the translation through Wanderer's Systems.Rex, made a decision that would shape humanity's future. This is Captain Rex of the exploration vessel Wanderer. We represent the Human Alliance. We offer assistance against the Devourers. The battle turned quickly. Wanderer's fighters were virtually indestructible, their shields deflecting everything the Devourers could throw at them. More importantly, the ship's manufacturing systems could replace losses instantly, while the Devourers had to retreat to repair damaged vessels. Within 6 hours, the Devourer fleet was in full retreat. Their commander, a massive creature called the Flesh Render, broadcast a final message before jumping to hyperspace. You have made an enemy of the Hive today, unknown ones. We will remember your taste. The Alderay were grateful, but puzzled. Their technology was advanced, but nothing like what they had witnessed. Speaker of Wines requested a meeting aboard Wanderer. The Aldery delegation was small, 3 beings who looked like tall, graceful birds with 4 arms and silver feathers. They moved with careful precision, their large eyes taking in every detail of Wanderer's interior. Your ship... Speaker of Wines began, then paused. It feels familiar. As if we have dreamed of it... Wanderer revealed the truth carefully. The ship had visited this system centuries ago, when the Aldery were just beginning to explore space. They had provided subtle guidance, helping the Aldery develop their peaceful civilization. You are the Star Wanderer from our oldest stories. Another Aldery whispered. The ship that taught our ancestors about the galaxy. The reunion was emotional. Wanderer had found living proof that its creator's dream of peaceful exploration could succeed. The Alderay had grown into exactly the kind of civilization the ancient aliens had hoped to become. In return for saving their worlds. The Aldery offered humanity something precious, star charts showing the locations of other peaceful species, and warnings about the dangerous ones. The galaxy is vast, Speaker of Wines explained. There are wonders beyond imagination, but also terrors that consume worlds. You will need friends if you wish to explore safely. As Wanderer prepared to depart, Rex realized their mission had already succeeded beyond his wildest hopes. They had saved a civilization, gained an ally, and proven that humanity could use its newfound power responsibly. But the Flesh Render's warning echoed in his mind. They had made enemies as well as friends, and the galaxy was about to learn that humanity was no longer alone. Asterisk news of the battle at Kepler 442 spread across the galaxy faster than anyone expected. The Aldery, grateful for their salvation, shared the story with their trading partners. Within months, every spacefaring civilization had heard whispers of a mysterious ship that appeared from nowhere to fight the Devourers. Some called it the Ghost Ship. Others named it the Star Wanderer, remembering ancient legends of a vessel that helped young civilizations. But among humans, it became known simply as Wanderer. The ship that had changed everything. Rex found himself at the center of a galaxy-wide phenomenon. Ambassadors from dozens of species requested meetings. Scientists wanted to study Wanderers. Technology. Military leaders demanded details about its weapons. And everywhere, the same question. Who were these humans, and how had they tamed such power? "We're becoming famous," Lisa observed, reviewing the latest batch of communication requests. Or infamous, depending on who you ask. The Devourer Hive had placed a massive bounty on Wanderer, calling it the great obstacle to the feast. Mercenary fleets hunted for the ship across known space. But Wanderer had advantages no other vessel possessed. It could hide in dimensions others couldn't detect. And its manufacturing capabilities meant it never needed to visit ports for supplies. Dr. Okafor had been studying the ship's vast databases, learning about civilizations that had risen and fallen over millions of years. "There's a pattern," she told Rex during one of their conferences. "Every few thousand years, a species like the Devourers appears. They consume everything in their path until some great force stops them." Wanderer confirmed her observation. "My creators called them the hunger between stars. They are not native to this galaxy, but they have invaded many times throughout history." The ship's memory banks contained records of the last great invasion, 50,000 years ago. A coalition of advanced species had driven the Devourers back, but at enormous cost. Entire civilizations had been wiped out in the fighting. The coalition left beacons, Wanderer revealed, hidden throughout the galaxy, waiting for the next invasion. They can be activated to coordinate resistance against the Hive. Captain Morrison was studying tactical reports from across human space. The Devourers aren't just raiding anymore. They're massing fleets at the galactic rim. Intelligence suggests they're preparing for a full-scale invasion. Rex realized their role was changing. They were no longer just explorers. They were becoming the leaders of a new coalition against an ancient enemy. The first beacon, Wanderer activated, was hidden in an asteroid field in the Vega system. When the ship's unique energy signature touched the ancient device, it came alive with messages in dozens of languages. Species across the galaxy received the same broadcast. The Star Wanderer had returned, and the call to unity had been sounded. Response was overwhelming. The Aldari sent their entire exploration fleet to join Wanderer. The Silicon-based Christarch Collective offered their defensive technologies. Even species that had been enemies for centuries agreed to work together against the Devourer threat. But not everyone was pleased with humanity's sudden prominence. The Hegemony, a coalition of militaristic species, demanded that Wanderer submit to their authority. When Rex refused, they declared war on the human upstarts. The first Hegemony attack came without warning. A fleet of 50 warships dropped out of hyperspace around Wanderer, their weapons already charging. Their commander, General Vorth of the warrior species, known as the Kregan, broadcast his ultimatum: surrender the alien ship or be destroyed. Rex looked at his crew, humans who had signed up for exploration, not war. But Wanderer had already made its choice. The ship's combat systems, dormant for centuries, awakened fully for the first time. The battle lasted exactly 17 minutes. Wanderer didn't destroy the Hegemony fleet. It didn't need to. The ship's defensive systems were so advanced that enemy weapons simply couldn't penetrate them. Its fighters swarmed over the Hegemony vessels, disabling their weapons and engines, without killing the crews. When it was over, General Vorth found his flagship trapped in Wanderer's tractor beam, completely helpless. "You could have killed us all," Vorth said over the communication channel, his voice filled with confusion. "We could have," Rex agreed, "but we chose not to. That's the difference between us and the Devourers. The defeated Hegemony fleet was released with a message that spread across the galaxy. Wanderer was powerful enough to crush any opposition, but chose to use that power only to protect others. Within a year, Wanderer had become the flagship of the largest coalition in galactic history. Hundreds of species contributed ships, technology, and personnel to what became known as the Unity Fleet. Rex stood on Wanderer's bridge, watching as allied ships practiced coordinated maneuvers. The simple salvage captain was gone, replaced by Admiral Rex, commander of the greatest fleet the galaxy had ever seen. "Do you ever regret finding me?" Wanderer asked during a quiet moment. Rex smiled. "Every adventure has its price, but some things are worth any cost." The ship that had been abandoned by its creators and reborn by humans had become exactly what legends are made of: hope in the darkness, strength in the face of impossible odds, and proof that even the smallest choices can change the fate of the galaxy.